Start with I will share the screen. Mataji, you can see?
Can see Mataji clear?
Okay. All right, Mataji, we can start with Kirtan. Then we go on to the subsequent slides. This one you can just chant and read the translation, and then we go to Nama Om.
Who's doing this, Mataji?
Rema Mataji, you.
Hare Krishna.
You have your kartal with you?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Okay. Om Janana Timirandasya Jana Jana Salakaya Chaksur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Translation: I offer my most humble obeisance to my spiritual master who has opened my eyes which were blinded by ignorance with the light of knowledge. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine.
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvashesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine.
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Haribo.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Haribo! Prema Mataji ki jai! Wonderful kirtan. It's so nice. So feels so good. It feels so good, like in temple.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay. So Mataji recording is on, right? Okay. Okay, so good evening, everybody. Hare Krishna. Welcome to level 2. Today we are on chapter 12. Right? Few more weeks to go only, Mataji. All right. Okay. So these are Sri Sri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. They are from Bhaktivedanta Manur from UK. Sri Sri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Ki Jai. This is also from the same place, Sri Sri Gauranitai. And they also have Sri Sri Radha Gokulananda, Bhaktivedanta Manur UK. Okay. Alright, so let me offer my humble obeisance to my spiritual teachers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vikna Vinasha Narsimha Iti Namine. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we dedicate this program to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Alright, so this is an excerpt from the introduction. Modern man has struggled very hard to reach the moon, but he has not tried very hard to elevate himself spiritually. If one has 50 years of life ahead of him, he should engage that brief time in cultivating this practice of remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This practice is the devotional process. These 9 processes, of which the easiest is Sravanam. Sravanam is hearing, right? We are hearing the Bhagavad Gita from the realized person, which will turn one to the thought of the Supreme Being. This will lead to remembering the Supreme Lord and will enable one, upon leaving the body, to attain a spiritual body which is just fit for association with the Supreme Lord. All right, so the constant hearing, constant engagement in devotional service, especially the Sravanam, all right, will enable us to achieve a spiritual body, all right, going back to the abode of the Lord, right, so that we can associate directly with the Supreme Lord. All right, so now we are associating with the Lord through sound vibration, whether it's from Gita or Mahamantra or through Prasadam, association with devotees. These are all direct perceptions. All right, the easiest and the most important is Sravanam. So once we attain a spiritual body, then we can directly associate with the Supreme Lord. Okay, so we are entering this chapter, Karma Yoga. Now, the first section, chapter 1 to chapter 6, we covered Karma Yoga. From chapter 7 to 12, we are covering Bhakti Yoga. So this is the last chapter in the second section. This is the essence in the sandwich in the between. All right, so as we arrive at the end of section 2, Krishna speaks all about devotional service. All right, this is one of the best chapters of Bhagavad Gita. All right, and it is mentioned that, if somebody is about to leave the body, then you can chant 3 chapters from Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 2 is about the body and soul, the contents of Gita summarized. All right, and chapter 8, attaining the Supreme. Remember what state you have while you're leaving the body, that state you will attain without fail. So those information are all in chapter 8, so you can recite that. Chapter 2, chapter 8, and this chapter 12. All right, of course, if you have the time, we want to read the entire Bhagavad Gita. All right, so in chapter 11, we saw how Krishna showed Arjuna his universal form. Then Krishna showed his 4-handed form, and then back to 2-handed form. All right. So Arjuna now wants to do devotional service. He wants to follow what Krishna is saying. However, he has some questions whether which is better, impersonal worship or personal worship. So at Arjuna, at every point of time, he's asking a lot of questions to Krishna so that Krishna can give more clarification. All right. So that is for our benefit. Right. So a brief comparison with our previous level 1. So we have only this loka additional. However, the explanation we will go deeper. All right. So first, Arjuna's question is bhakti versus impersonalism. Impersonalism means worship of Bhagwan in formless feature. Lagging, huh? Is it okay now? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare.
Now you're okay, Mataji.
Okay, all right. Because at the same time, my 2 girls also having Gita Gyan. So we are using the Wi-Fi pretty heavy today. All right. So the next is Krishna will explain how to, what is the progressive stage in devotion. All right. If you can't do the topmost level, okay, I'm giving you the second level. If you can't do that, then I'm giving you this level, like that. Right. There'll be 4 levels. All right. Finally, Krishna will say who is and how to become so dear to Krishna, or Krishna say who is very dear to him ultimately. All right, so this is pretty simple chapter, so nothing so technical or heavy. Okay, so just relax. All right, 12.1, Jagadish Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare
Can hear me? Yeah. Arjuna uvacha evam sadata yukte bhaktasvam prayupashate ye chappi aksharam avyakatam tesham te yoga vidmaha. Arjuna inquired, which are considered to be more perfect? Those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested?
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so I repeat, from chapter 1 to 6, we cover Karma Yoga. From 7 to 12, we are covering Bhakti Yoga. So we are at the end of the devotional chapter, Bhakti Yoga, devotional section. All right, so that is why Arjuna is asking which worship is better. All right. Those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service, this is Bhakti, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested, formless, right? No form. All right, so Arjuna wants to hear from Krishna, which is better? Well, actually, what we need to understand here is that for Arjuna, he is a devotee. So he is already happy, contented with the process of devotional service, which is Bhakti Yoga. But Arjuna knows there are people who are not devotee, but they are on spiritual path. They are endeavoring. All right. However, they worship impersonal Brahman. All right. So in chapter 11, we saw Krishna showing the universal form. So it is said that many impersonalists, they also worship universal form. And then they think the universal form is greater or higher than Krishna. All right. Like Krishna manifested from the unmanifested. So they look at the unmanifested form as the supreme. Okay. And then there's another kind of impersonalist. They worship the impersonalist Brahman, the unmanifest. Remember the light? People say it's called Brahma Jyoti, right? So Arjuna is a devotee, so he is not interested in the Brahman because he wants direct relationship with Krishna. All right. So to substantiate to who is the source of the unmanifest, who is the source of the Brahman, Krishna already shown the universal form. Everything is in him. All right. And then to support this as well, Arjuna, despite seeing the universal form, he doesn't like it. All right. He still wants Krishna to be in his personal two-handed form. All right. So still, for the benefit of everybody, he wants to know from Krishna directly, from Krishna himself, which worship is best, which is better, to be a devotee, engaged in a devotional service, or to worship the impersonal Brahman. Okay, so this is the question Arjuna is asking. Okay, 12.2. Jayastarani Mataji.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Mayaveshya Mano Ye Mam Nitya Yukta Upasate Shradaya Parayopitas Temi Yukta Tamamatta. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, those who fix their minds on my personal form and are always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith are considered by me to be the most perfect.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So here Krishna replies very clearly, all right, on point. Fix your mind on my personal form. That way you can make quick advancement. All right, this is the most perfect. So it's a very clear reply from Krishna. All right, and Krishna is not saying you meditate on any form, any physical form. Or he didn't, of course, he didn't even say meditate on my impersonal form. He is saying you have to fix your mind on my personal form, on my form. All right, you can take the Bhagavad Gita and you check the translation. He will say my form. All right, and then of course Krishna is, it is also said that if you want to go to a destination, you can take two roads. One can take you quicker, one can take you longer, but however you still reach the destination. So this one Krishna will also mention later. All right, so before this I would like to just give me 1 minute. There's one sloka I feel that I need to link it. 12 before 12.5. Okay, so here 12.3 to 4, Krishna is saying, so earlier if you see this here, Krishna is talking, fix their mind on personal form is the most perfect, right? And then in 3 to 4 he will say, but those who fully worship the unmanifested, means the Brahman, Brahmajyoti or anything, right? Light form or impersonal form of Bhagavan, that which lies beyond the perception of the senses, the all-pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed and immovable, the impersonal conception of the absolute truth, by controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such person engaged in the welfare of all, at last achieve me. All right, so Krishna never say, oh, you will not achieve me if you worship impersonal Brahman feature of myself, right? He said, at last you achieve me. All right, and then he went to 12.5 to say this. Kajai Mataji. Okay, Mataji is not here. I didn't receive message from her also. Okay, let me read this. Kleshodikataraste avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukham dehavadbhir avapyate. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. Right? To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. Embodied means us, right? We are soul, we have body, so we are embodied. So Bhagavan here is describing why is it so difficult for those who worship the Brahman, because their mind is attached to something that can't be seen. There is no form to be attached to, right? So we are persons, we have relationship just like we have relationship with other people. All right, we relish the rasa, we relish the relationship with people. All right, so if we think that the Supreme Person is not a person, it will be very hard to relate to Bhagavan, to the Supreme Person. So there are many difficulties in worshipping the impersonal Brahman. Okay, like you have to, like if you remember what I read earlier, so you have to become very renounced from everything material. You have to understand there are certain languages in describing the Brahman. Now the whole process is rendered very difficult. All right, the jnani, there are jnanis who take very long to advance. All right, for those who worship the impersonal Brahman, they take very long to advance. So these people, they follow the path of knowledge, jnana yoga. All right, so the practice using jnana yoga takes a very long time. Okay, all right, the people who follow this path, impersonal worship, they take the path of knowledge, jnana yoga. All right, so it may take very, very long time. It may take many, many lifetime for them to eventually understand the goal of knowledge. However, Krishna already said in the past chapters that I am the goal of the knowledge. I'm the compiler of the Vedas and I am the goal of the Vedas. He has declared that. All right, so the goal of knowledge is to surrender to Krishna through bhakti. All right, by doing devotional service, this can be done immediately. Okay, so if you follow the impersonalist path, it will take a long time. However, you reach eventually. All right. Okay, so we move on. 12.6. Ashwata Mai Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Ye tu samani kamani. How?
Mayi Sanyasa Matparaha.
I thought it's the other side.
Oh, sorry. Have to go down.
Okay. Ye tu samani kamani. Mayi sanya samat paraha. Ananye naivam yogena. Mam tvayante upasate. Te sam aham samutata mityo samsara sakarat pavamina jilat pata maya ave sita chetasam. But those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service and always meditating upon me, having fixed their mind upon me, O son of Pitta, for them I am the safe deliverer from the ocean of birth and death.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, see here, Krishna is saying what kind of benefit he will give us and to what kind of people. For those who worship me, giving up all the activities unto me. So this all we learned already in Karma Yoga, right? Surrender all the results unto Krishna. Being devoted to me without deviation. Engaged in devotional service and always meditating upon me. Absorbed, right? Samadhi. We saw that in chapter 6, Dhyana. The top level is Samadhi. Samadhi means being absorbed in Krishna's thoughts. Having fixed their minds upon me, for them I am the swift deliverer. He didn't say that I'm the deliverer, right? He's not saying I'm a mere deliverer, but I'm going to deliver you swiftly. That means quicker. Yeah, Krishna will deliver, but he delivers swiftly those who engage in devotional service. All right. If you notice, almost at every chapter, Krishna will talk about some yogas, and then later he concludes by saying, better than this is someone who engaged in my thoughts, performing devotional service to me. So if you notice, he always does that kind of conclusion at the end of every chapter. All right, so one time the Gajendra story, he was in distress, and then the Lord comes in Garuda and swiftly come and saves saves Gajendra from the distress. And then Ramanujacharya also said that those who have sought refuge in the lotus feet need not worry about how we will be able to remember him in our final thoughts. Sometimes you think, right? What if I perform all kind of devotional service and suddenly, due to the condition that I am during the final moments, I'm not able to think of Krishna. So what will happen to me? Will I not be able to think about Krishna at all, or what will happen to me in the next life? All right. So Ramanujacharya said, the Lord Himself will show. The Lord will show Himself to us at that time. All right. All right. So the Lord is like a boatman that pulls us. You see here, the Lord is like a boatman. He pulls us from us drowning in the material ocean of miseries. All right. So I have a boatman story for you all. You all like story, right? Okay. This is story, boatman story during the pastime of Lord Ram. So one time, Lord Ram, Mother Sita, and Lakshman would like to cross a river or a lake. I'm not so sure. So they're supposed to cross. All right. So they come to this boatman and they say, "Hey, hi boatman, we want to cross this river. Could you please take us across?" All right. Then the boatman says, "I'm sorry, my lord, I can't take you, because I heard, if you remember how the dust from the lotus feet of Lord Ram touched a stone, and then the stone turned to a beautiful lady, Ahalya. All right. So she was cursed. For some reason, she was cursed, and she assumed the form of the rock, the stone. And the person who cursed her said, in Treta Yuga, the Lord will come and he will, with from the dust of his lotus feet, you will, break the curse. You will be able to come out of this stone form." All right, so this boatman was quoting that story. I remember one time, because of the dust of your lotus feet, the stone turned into a lady. Now, if you climb to my boat, the dust from your foot might from the dust from your feet might turn my boat into, lady, what can I do? I already have a daughter and I already have a wife. What will they think about me? How will I manage it, my lord? Like that he will say. And then so the Lord Ram says, so how we need to cross over? Okay, I will take you, but just with one condition. You have to allow me to properly wash your lotus feet, so there won't be any dust when you climb to my boat. All right, so he's very intelligent. You see, he wants that service. He goes this way and that way and try to get the service to worship the Lord's lotus feet. All right, and after washing, he even sprinkled the water on his head. All right, so after he rowed the boat across the bank from this bank to that bank, the Lord wanted to give him some money to pay, and Mother Sita also wanted to give her earring, and but the boatman refused. He said, I won't take any money from another boatman. He said like that. All right, he's calling Lord Ram as a boatman. A boatman will not take money from another boatman. Then Lord Ram said, I'm not a boatman. I'm no boatman. I'm a king. I'm a Kshatriya. I'm not a boatman. Then the boatman says, I'm a boatman who bring people from this bank to that bank. All right, I bring from this side to that side. However, you bring people from this side, this material ocean, to spiritual world. So in that way, you are a boatman as well. All right, so you bring people across the ocean of miseries. So therefore, you are the swift deliverer. I mean, therefore, the Bhagwan, the Lord, Supreme Lord, is swift deliverer. So the Lord is a boatman. He delivers us from material world to spiritual world. So it's a very nice pastime, right? Okay, so we move on to 12.8. Meena Mataji.
Okay, Mataji, I'm here. Bhagavad Gita 12.8. My eva mana ashava. My bhutam niveshaya. Nivashashya mayeva at uttavam na samsaya. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt.
Thank you, Mataji. So from here, from point 8 to point 8, 9, 10, 11 to 11, Krishna is giving different stages. Okay, so just now we already covered which worship is better. All right, so once it is certain that devotional service is better, then Krishna is saying what are the stages in devotional services. All right, so the first and topmost, the best stage is this, what Krishna says as, just fix your mind upon me. Meaning 24 hours thinking of Krishna, like our spiritual masters, like Ambarisha Maharaj, like Prahlad Maharaj, like Srila Prabhupada. And these are great devotees that always think about Krishna, all the Goswamis, all right? They are always constantly absorbed in thinking of Krishna, 24/7. And then they engage all the intelligence in him, in Krishna. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt. All right, so Krishna describing different levels where we can practice yoga. The topmost level of bhakti yoga is this one, very the first class. Fix your mind. Fix your mind on Krishna. Use the intelligence in serving Krishna. However, this may not be easy thing to do for many of us like me. It's not easy because the mind is very restless. It wanders everywhere. Chanchala, chanchala, 1 minute thinking of this, another minute thinking of that. So not everybody can come to this level. So for this, Krishna is so kind. He's giving us another option. Okay, let's see what is that next option that we have. 12.9. Prema Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Atha chitham samadhatum na chaknoshi mahishitaram abhayasha yogina tato mam ichaptum dhananjaya. Translation: My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So here, the point here is that regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, this was spontaneous. All right, spontaneous. After certain stage, this pure devotee, they don't have to make like really extra endeavor to do that, because it becomes very natural for them to fix their mind. All right, but here, the option Krishna is giving us to follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, which means you are practicing Bhakti Yoga with some guidance or some based on some instruction. All right, so this is second class, right? Performing sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti means regulative bhakti based on regulative principles. So usually or generally it will be under guidance of spiritual master, or if you have mentor, those kind of guides. All right, so if you can remember, there are 4 regulative principles of religion. These are not actually, these regulative principles are not actually referring to the non-meat eating, non-intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. So these are not actually under these regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. Those 4 activities that I told you just now, these are generally a general regulative principle for general civilization. Any man and a civilized man, if they follow this, the life will be good. All right, but if you want to take it up further for in Bhakti Yoga, in the path of Bhakti Yoga, there are different principles, slightly higher, like accepting spiritual master, doing service under the orders of spiritual master. That's one. And then number 2, like waking up, you see the picture here, like waking up early in the morning, taking a bath, perform your chanting or perform your prayers. So devotees generally not encouraged to sleep very late in the morning. They have to wake up early, immediately take a bath, and then you begin to do chanting, worshipping of Krishna. All right, these are the principles of Bhakti Yoga. All right, so one must chant Maha Mantra every day, like take a shower, right? So you have to bathe in the water of Maha Mantra as well. All right, so every day we have a fixed number, so we can endeavor to do that. All right, and then we can go for like flowers and offer them to Krishna. All right, like today Saras Mataji did a nice offering, so we can do something like that. We don't have to do so elaborate, but you can do whatever that you want. Maybe every morning you offer some milk or fruits, will do, right? So this can be a general standard of your daily life, how you start your daily life, right? And then you offer little worship, puja or arati, and then you cook for Krishna, you offer to Krishna, and then you take the prasadam, and then you hear the message of Bhagavad Gita or any other scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam. So these are all the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. So we cannot sit and just meditate on Krishna. It's not possible for us to do. So we have to keep engaging our limbs, our senses, our mind, our intelligence. We can engage our talents in this way. All right. Okay, so these things are called Bhakti Yoga. But then again, it seems like Krishna can understand that not everybody can do this. Some people cannot wake up early or chant. The goal of doing this, the means, is to develop some desire to come to Krishna. All right, when we do this, we develop desire. That is the goal of this activity. All right, so then Krishna say, if you can't do this, if you can't do regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, then Krishna is giving another option. Okay, let's see what option is that. 12:10. Prema Mataji, Prema Papu Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Abhyasi yasamartosi matkarma paramo bhava madartam api karmani kurvan siddhim avyapsyasi. If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so this is the third option. You remember, right? 12.8, spontaneous bhakti, total absorption. Then number 2 is regulative principles of bhakti. Follow certain things throughout your daily life. So if you can't do that, then Krishna said, you can be sympathetic towards a Krishna conscious activity. So you engage yourself in that work in Krishna consciousness. So work in Krishna consciousness, and bhakti is pretty same, like there's only a fine line in between, but there is a difference. So I will tell you what is that. Now let's say you're working and then you have a job, so you can give some of the fruit of your work and donate some to the service of Krishna. So this way you are actually doing karma yoga. So it's very near to bhakti, right? It's like the next step before you go to bhakti. All right, so many devotees here are trying to spread Krishna consciousness. It's really not very easy, because we know the result of the Krishna consciousness is so great, right? You're going to give something that to somebody that will last forever and ever, not only in this life, it's beyond as well, right? So they are trying hard, having a temple management, providing prasadam for people who are, when they are affected by some disasters, flood, earthquake. So we have, like, ISKCON has a program called Food for Life. So they cook and offer this prasadam, actually cook and offer to Krishna. So they distribute the prasadam to people who are stricken by disasters. All right. So, and then during COVID also, the temples are closed, and then the management have difficulty in managing certain things, so we can help them in that way. All right, and then we have a lot of people coming around from around the world. They donate to maintain the temple. So this is all called work in Krishna consciousness. Try to work for me. This is also Krishna covered in chapter 3, Karma Yoga. All right, and so this way you are actually surrendering the fruit of your work for Krishna consciousness in that way. So you will get benefit. All right. So there are some people who are not even able to engage in bhakti yoga because probably the constraint from the family. All right, they have some that overwhelming responsibilities in the material world, so they couldn't engage themselves bhakti yoga fully. So they can do this, they can give some portion or some percentage of the salary or some part of the income for the service of Krishna. All right, so because they are giving it for the service of Krishna, they get purifications. Okay, so gradually they will come to the perfect stage. This is the means to come to the goal eventually. All right, but some people are not able to give to Krishna directly. So like when there are people not very much Krishna conscious in the family, or they dislike people helping the Hare Krishnas. All right, so these people may not be religious. All right, so they might not give permission to do this. So what kind of thing that the people have this kind of constraint, what they can do? Can they at least do something for Krishna in that sense? Because they don't have the facility to do. All right, so for these people, this is the perfect stage, right? Gradually we want to come to this perfect stage. So what if those people do not have the facility to do even this? So Krishna is giving another option in 12:11. 12:11. Pushpa Mataji. Mataji, you are there? Okay, Mataji is not here. Okay, let me read that. Ataitadapi ashaktoshi kartumat yogam ashritah sarvakarma phala tyagam tata kuru yatatmavan. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act by giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. All right, so here Krishna is talking about charity. All right, this is 4th class. Do dana dharma. Do dana and dharma, which means service to the mankind, service to the good cause. All right, so in this case, Krishna is saying you can't give it to Krishna, but you can give it to some welfare programs. All right, but we must understand that that is not exactly technically the spiritual part. It's still material, because it's charity. You are going to incur some good karmas. All right, good karma or bad karma, they are bondages, isn't it? So why Krishna is giving this option is because Krishna wants us to cultivate detachment from the results of our work. All right, this is the beginning. You got to feel detached from the results. So some detachment should come in our daily life. All right, the ultimate is to engage everything in Krishna's devotional service. However, if you can't do that due to the reasons given earlier, so Krishna is suggesting you can do this service to the mankind. All right, you can give to the hospital, children home, but remember, these are not spiritual. All right, if you see here, some people have donated to the hospital, and this is some Bollywood actor. He's giving some donation. I can't see how much, but looks like he's giving a big fat check to the police force. All right. All right, so they don't exactly make spiritual advancement here, but it helps them to be a little detached from the material world. So basically, don't fully work for yourself. So you can do some charity. All right, so during the COVID time, if you can't give it to Krishna, then you give it to the society. So there's a lot of soup kitchen kind of programs like that. All right, of course, the ISKCON also have Food for Life program. So in any ways, we can engage people in many ways to serve Krishna, in work in Krishna consciousness. All right, Dana Dharma. Okay, Mataji. So that are the 4 options. Okay, so we move on to 12. If then Krishna is saying, if you can't do any of this, then I'm giving you one other option. 12. Saras Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Okay.
Bhagavad Gita 12.12. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Sriyo hi janam apyashas dhyanam vaishyadede dhyanat karma palatyagas tyagak chantir anantaram. If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action. For by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So Krishna is saying here, if you can't do 12-10, right? You can't do this, you can't work for me, all right? You can't do charity, maybe because we don't have money or whatsoever, then engage yourself in cultivation of knowledge. So what knowledge is this? The knowledge about matter and spirit, all right? Matter and spirit. So this better than knowledge is meditation. So like that, there's a progress there, right? Better than dhyana, meditation, is renunciation. Better than knowledge is meditation. Better than meditation is renunciation. Renunciation of the fruits of action means you renounce the fruit, not the activity. Yeah, that's not what Krishna is saying. Krishna never say renounce your work and go to a cave and mountain and meditate. He never said that. What you can do is renounce the fruit of the action. So such renunciation can give peace of mind. So Bhagavan is giving another part, cultivate knowledge. Now let's put that in a diagram and see how does it work upwards. All right. So the first topmost, the first class is fixing mind on Krishna. Okay. So live in relationship with Krishna. Then if you can't do that, then you engage via regulative principles of bhakti. So in this way, you develop desire to serve Krishna. Okay, so follow here. Remember this one, first class, second class. Then next, if you can't follow you can't wake up in the morning, or the facility, the situation in the house is just not conducive for bhakti life, then you can do this. Work for Krishna. Donating, spending money. When you're working, you are put aside certain amount of money every month to support certain temple or certain cause. Like we also have cow care, right? We have cow care in Lanchang or Jandabai. I always get these two names confused. So there is monthly donation program. So they will take care of the cow. You know how? Because generally when cows, right, generally they stop giving milk because they get old. What do they do to the cows? They actually send to slaughterhouses. So this program under ISKCON in Jandabai or Lanchang in Pahang, they take care of these cows because sometimes they save. Jandabai, yeah? All right, thank you, Mataji. So sometimes the people, the devotees who are taking care or the managing the farm, they rescue such cows that sending to slaughterhouses or abused or tortured. So they bring those cows to the farm and takes care of them. All right. So until they leave the body naturally, until they die a natural death. So every now and then we will get update that there's new cows are born and how they are being worshipped in all this Pongal, all these festivals, right? We celebrate them, we do puja for them. So cow care, so you can help in that way. So if anybody's interested, since while I'm at it, so if you're interested, you can let me know. I can refer you to the person in charge for this cow care program. So it's very pious activity. All right, because we cannot have a cow in our home. So at least we can take care of the cow that people are managing. Right. Now, if you can't do this, let's say don't have enough money or you can't do that. So what do? You do this renunciation, cultivation of knowledge, meditation. Okay. So better than knowledge is meditation. Better than meditation is renunciation of the results. Okay, we just saw that. Okay. All right. So this is actually how generally we are to deal with the Lord, devotees, or other living entities, our attitude and our reaction. So this chapter, this is additional that you are learning in this level 2, the qualities of devotee. So you can generally, you break it up into 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we will go one by one. Okay. How do we deal with Bhagavan? How do we deal with Lord? So we have determination. Okay, whatever practice that we have, we are supposed to do in our Krishna conscious life, Krishna conscious path, we do with determination. So in Nectar of Instruction, there are 3 terms used: Utsahan, Nischaya, Dhairya. Utsahan means usaha. Usaha means endeavor, right? Nischaya, Dhairya. One is patience, one is determination. So these 3 things important. You need to have determination, enthusiasm, Utsaha, Nischaya, patience. Yeah, there's 3 things: patience, enthusiasm, patience, and determination, something like that. So I'm sorry, I can't recall, but this is important, determination. And then you fix the mind and intelligence on Lord. All right, in that way we engage in devotional service. So what may, we should not deviate from our regulative principles, regulative activities. Okay, so that's dealing with Lord. Next, dealing with other living entities, not just devotees, yeah, with all other living entities. Spiritual people, they are non-envious. Okay, noted, Mataji. Thank you. All right. So generally, we should not be envious. So non-envious. Away from contaminating association means we avoid bad associations. All right. So how to come to this level? We have to constantly think that we are part and parcel of Krishna. So if you remember in chapter 5, 5.18, I think, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, a learned person sees everybody with the equal vision, because Bhagavan resides in everybody's heart as a super soul. So there is super soul, there's Bhagavan in everybody's heart. So in that way, if we're going to see everybody in an equal vision, you cannot distinguish living entities based on their species or class or status or caste, religion, race, ethnicity. All right. So in that way, we develop non-enviousness, because we see everybody with equal vision, and that we are part and parcel. Everybody has their purpose in this world. All right. And then our association. How? We cannot practice bhakti being alone. All right. Prabhupada discouraged someone who wanted to go and sit in a forest and do chanting alone. Prabhupada discouraged that. You got to come back. You have to live among the association of devotees. And then that's not only one, and avoid bad association. So association has great importance in our spiritual life. All right, remember how Kaikeyi was actually naturally, she was a good lady, but because of the association of Mantara, her mind was poisoned and resulted in Lord Ram vanished to the forest. So this is an example of bad association, inappropriate association. So we covered how to deal with the Bhagwan, and we cover how to deal with other living entities. Okay, these are additional, yeah, in level 2. Next, our attitude. Our attitude towards ourselves, right? So we need to be free from the sense of proprietorship. We need to know the Sarva Loka Maheshwaram is Krishna. He is the proprietor, he is not us. All right, and then we have to be self-satisfied with whatever we have, and we give more time for Krishna consciousness. All right. Okay, this one we covered in chapter 2, false ego. I am not the body. I'm not the controller. I'm not the enjoyer. We can be the small Purushas, but the supreme Purusha is Krishna. Okay, so this is our attitude. This is all about a sense of proprietorship. Next, reaction when things happen to us. How do we react? How do we respond? All right, so we can take example of how Prabhupada, his travel in the Jaladutta, he had 2 heart attacks, but however, he kept chanting and he was thanking Krishna, and that way Krishna continuously blessed him, and he was so determined to go to the US and spread Krishna consciousness, right? So that is the reaction. Equipoised, tolerant, and satisfied. All right. We don't throw tantrum when we don't get things that as what we want. All right, things don't go our way. Okay, so this is the satisfied position of the devotees. And then Krishna says, anyone who follows this imperishable path of devotion service are very dear to me. All right, this one we will see later. Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.8, Shobha Mataji. You can read the translation, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectfully obeisance with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim.
Thank you, Mataji. So, like remember I mentioned here, satisfied attitude towards oneself. All right, so when things don't go our way, we don't throw tantrum, we don't show frustration. All right, so my Lord, one who earnestly waits, means patiently waits for Bhagwan to show causeless mercy upon him. All right, so for this kind of people, liberation becomes his rightful claim. Oh yeah, he came in 70s, Mataji, 50 years ago. Not recently, a couple of years ago, we celebrated 50 years. And then we had stamps, Post Malaysia released stamps of 50 years, Srila Prabhupada. Try to get that. Yeah, one time Prabhupada came and there is one book. He went to Penang. Yeah, he went to Penang, Mataji. So Malaysia is blessed. Became one of the countries that Prabhupada visited. Some countries Prabhupada never visited at all. Okay, so Krishna says, patiently wait. Finally, he will be eligible to claim his rightful position. Okay, liberation means free from birth and death. Okay, so we are actually finishing pretty early today, right? 12.20. Oh yeah, story is coming up. No wonder why I'm thinking why the slide's finishing so fast. Okay, 12.20. Tamarai Mataji.
Yeah. Can I just do the translation?
Can Mataji.
Sorry. Those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. So here, this is where Krishna is saying, Tiva me priyaha. Priyaha means very dear. All right, Krishna is saying those who follow this imperishable path or devotional service, who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very dear to me. So these people or devotee are very, very dear to Krishna because they engage themselves with great faith. They make Krishna as the supreme goal. So these are the qualities that Krishna wants to see from devotees. All right. So in this way, in chapter 12, Krishna mentioned the worship of his personal feature, the benefit, the means and goals of worshipping him in his personal form, personal feature. All right, then we will see now a story of somebody who has been absorbed thinking about Krishna at all odds. All right, so what story is this? Yeah, 1971. Yeah, thank you, Mataji, for sharing that. So Prabhupada came to Malaysia in May 1971. Anybody can tell what story is this? It's very famous. Even yesterday, I did this for my level 1 batch 3. They really enjoyed that story, just like how I did the Narshinga pastime with you all. So we did this yesterday. Narshinga pastime, isn't it? You all remember, right? We did this pastime. So here, if you can see here, this is the timeline of what happened. So first, Hiranyakashipu meditated for so many years. All right, and when Brahma came and Hiranyakashipu asked for immortal, to be immortal, he wants that boon because of the background fight with Hiranyaksha versus Lord Vishnu as Varaha avatar. So that's the story. So fast forward to this, Hiranyakashipu wanted a immortal boon from Lord Brahma. Then Lord Brahma said, if you remember, up to the highest material planet that we covered earlier, recently, a few chapters before, up to the highest material planet, which is Brahma Loka or Satya Loka, birth and death take place. So Lord Brahma says, even I am not immortal. How will I make you immortal? All right, then you give me all these boons. So in that way, I am going to cover all the terms and conditions. So I can, all these SOPs, nobody can come and kill me. Nobody can attack me. So Hiranyakashipu was intelligently list out all the boons. All right. And he got the boons, right? You all know what are the boons, right? Cannot be killed during the day or night, outside or indoor, in the air, on the land, by a dead or living being, by any man-made weapon. All these boons he asked. So all granted. All right, so Brahma gave the boon. He had to give the boon because his meditation was so severe, the penance was so severe that when he meditated, the fire that comes out from his head was so hot that it was burning the entire universe, and all the devas approached Lord Brahma, their creator. Please do something to this Lord, this Hiranyakashipu. This is giving a lot of inconvenience to us. So that's why the Lord Brahma had to go down to give this boon to Hiranyakashipu. All right. So he had to give this to make the other living entities live peacefully. All right. So what happened? On the other side, the devas, they know that Hiranyakashipu's wife is carrying a child, and this child, they were so scared that he's going to be a demon as well. So they wanted to kidnap Kayadu. So you see this picture here. They wanted to kidnap, and Narada had to come and save her, saying, no. Even though this is a demon's child, but there's a great devotee growing in this Kayadu's womb, so we need to protect her. So like that, he will take Kayadu and take her to his ashram. So those days, the mothers, they can choose when to deliver the child. So actually, she wanted to wait for Hiranyakashipu to return. So she had a very long time, Narada Muni narrating a lot of Lord Vishnu stories. So she was not the only person listening. Prahlad Maharaj also was listening in the womb. All right. So you can, so this is the time that Narada Muni used to preach to Prahlad Maharaj. So that's how Prahlad became good devotee. All right. So later on, when he returns to the palace, the father sent him to the Sukracharya ashram and expected him to learn a lot of material knowledge. All right. So and then the debate ensued, right? Hiranyakashipu asked him, what did you learn? And then Prahlad Maharaj had to say, I learned that the devotional service, the way to achieve God consciousness is by executing this 9 devotional service. So Prahlad Maharaj's teaching is the 9 devotional service, the Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. Okay, all those is given by Prahlad Maharaj. He was not only teaching that to the friends in his ashram, in his classmates, with his classmates, but he also told that to the father. Of course, the father didn't like it. He gave various punishment, like throwing him from the cliff, and then sending elephant to trample on him. So every time Prahlad was in this situation, he was constantly absorbed thinking about Krishna. So like this, Krishna protected Prahlad Maharaj. at all times. Then this Hiranyakashipu, he asked, later when he couldn't do anything to Prahlad and the guards also gave up, then he asked, where did you get your strength from? What is the source of your strength? Then Prahlad said, it is the same source that you are getting the strength from, which is the Supreme Lord. So finally, the debate peaked, and then the Lord came to kill the demon. All right, so this is an example, perfect example how a devotee practice devotional service at all odds, thinking about Krishna, come what may, right, at all odds. So what are the activities that we can do? Like I mentioned earlier, chanting, reading. This is a tulsi. If you have tulsi in your house, you can have a nice tulsi madam, or you can have a nice vase, and then you can have a tulsi there. You can, if you're good in stitching, you can make nice skirt here. You see here, you can have a nice skirt here, and then you can worship tulsi. You can circumambulate. Now, if you're interested, you can ask me. We have some songs to worship Tulsi Maharani. All right, so you can just sprinkle some water on her. You can show lamp. You can show incense like this. So you can do that also in your home. And then, of course, cooking and offering food to Krishna and taking them as prasadam. All right, chant, read, offer bhoga, buy books, and we can actually have a small reading session. Actually, that is in the pipeline also. That means there is no teaching or explanation. We can just take part in reading. We can pick one small book and we can read together. So this way we are encouraging the absorption of our mind on Krishna. Okay, so this will be the recap. All right, this is the one. Topmost stage is the mind is fixed in Krishna fully 24/7. We will live in relationship with Krishna. Then Krishna said, if you can't do this, then you practice the regulatory principles of sadhana bhakti. So in that way, we will develop desire to attain Krishna. All right, and then if you can't do that, if your family or situation, house situation are conducive, then you can work for Krishna. Whatever you work, whatever job you have, you allocate aside, you put aside some amount of money and you engage that Lakshmi in the Krishna conscious or devotional services. You help others who are doing activities in Krishna consciousness. All right, some people, they are trying so hard, but however, they don't have the means to do it. All right, monetary wise or anything, right? But now we have difficulties because we can't go around and help around, right? But it's just information. All right, so if you can't do this, then Krishna gives this lower stage, which is indirect. You can cultivate knowledge. All right, better than that is meditation or renunciation. Renounce the fruit of the results. All right, so if you want to read more, then you can buy Srimad Bhagavatam. This is also work in Krishna consciousness. You're putting aside some money for Krishna conscious activities. All right, so Gita Kit is still available. I hope right now, at this moment, everybody has their own Bhagavad Gita already, so it is good. So what you can do further now, Matajis, you can buy for others, or you can encourage your friends to buy from us. All right, we always have some promotions now and then now we have level 1 Gita Gyan batch 3. So even the new students are buying a lot to give others. All right, so they're really taking part of this program. So we have somebody in Pahang, he's really engaging his students to take part in this sales. All right, so this is a good way to engage people's money in Krishna conscious. So in this way, we are helping them to purify. You are allowing them to practice detachment from the result. It is good. It's going to be good for them in long run. So like this, we can engage. And then maybe sometime we can have a reading of small books like this. All right, so all the books are on internet. So I can just share screen and we can just read maybe 20 minutes, half an hour like that. Okay, so any questions, Mataji? So the admins have actually requested that everybody to spend 5 minutes to do the quiz. All right, they're really requesting, begging, please do the quiz, right? Spend 5 minutes. So now that we have time, can we chant one round, please, Mataji? You can just unmute and chant together. We have finished early today. So come, Mataji, do you have your chanting bits with you all? Ready? So the class will finish at 9. So please stay and do chanting together. नम ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने. You can start with Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya, then you can do your Maha Mantra. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare